Hi, I'm Joanne Cary. Welcome back to Embodied Soul Podcast, a multidimensional space intended to support you in mastering, living, being, and thriving as the embodied soul you are. In this week's episode, I want to share something that's been moving through me lately, that quiet, sacred space between what's been and what's next. It's that place where it might seem like nothing's happening, where inspiration feels paused or distant, but underneath the stillness, everything is integrating. You might find yourself in this space too, where the mind wants to push forward, but the body and the soul are asking to slow down, to rest, to let what's already shifted settle into form. So today, we're exploring the pause, what it really means, how to sit within it, and why it's one of the most powerful, creative, and necessary parts of your evolution as an embodied soul. If you're ready to join me, pull up a comfy chair, take a slow breath, invite in your soul, and be open to receive exactly what you need to live, be, and thrive as the embodied soul you are. So as you may hear, the waves are gently coming in against the shore as I sit at the beach on this beautiful 11/11. And the inspiration for this episode came in the middle of the night when I caught myself thinking, damn, I don't know if I have anything left to say. I hadn't received that inspiration. And I thought, maybe I've said all that I have to say through this podcast. And then I realized that's the episode. That's the whole point, the sacred pause between the next movement forward. We all reach that space where the wave has crested and we're floating for a moment in still water, where we've given, created, expanded, received all of those transmissions and activations, and now the body and soul need time to catch up. And this isn't a failure of inspiration, it's a recalibration. It's that exhale, after a big breath of creation. So this pause, what can feel like a void, is actually the space where integration happens. It's the return to the womb. It's the moment everything folds back in so the body can catch up with what the soul has already become. And it's where everything that's been activated, healed, or shifted begins to take root in your cells, in your nervous system, your energy body, your thoughts and actions. They're all reorganizing to match the new vibration you've embodied. Now, I've talked about integration before in an earlier episode, but this one's a little different. This isn't about the act of integrating a download. It's about recognizing the space between downloads as sacred time. And that can come with some sensations. Sometimes as we integrate new frequencies, and this has certainly been for me because I've found that there have been some new frequencies and they have been interacting with my system, and in particular, like my brain, in different ways. So sometimes as we integrate the new frequencies, it's almost like our brain or our body is refiring, and it might be tingling or pulsing. And as I've more recently been trying to put some names to it to identify this feeling that I'm feeling in my body, it's this strange kind of psychic burn feeling. You know, it's not like a temperature heat, but it's more like the after effect of hot sauce lighting up the neural pathways in your brain. So when that happens, your system is saying, I'm working hard to stabilize the new wiring. Please don't add any more just yet. So the pause isn't empty. It's sacred work happening beneath the surface. And that can sometimes be hard for the human because we want to propel forward. We want to move forward. We want to have more energies. And we really get to honor where our body is at, where we're at within the cycle of receiving and integrating. Lazy, not wrong. It's beautiful. It's sacred. and it deserves time, presence, and gentleness. So how do we be with this space instead of trying to rush through it? How do you sit in the pause, like really be in it, when your mind wants to keep doing or fixing or creating? Well, it begins with noticing the habits that want to fill the silence. And I'll share a simple example. Just the other day, I caught myself in one of these moments, and my body and energy were calling for me to relax, to just be still, to lie down. So I did. Check. Good job. But about 1 minute into the stillness, the thought started. Oh, I could be doing this. Maybe I should respond to that message or watch that video. And then I caught myself and I said, no, Joanne, be still, observe, relax the mind, be within. I actually think it was my guides sharing that. But I caught myself and I said, no. And then I moved myself back down into my heart and just allowed myself to relax, because some of the habits of doing are very ingrained. But the moment you notice, you're already shifting. So the practice becomes catching them with love and returning to presence again and again. This is where the real integration happens, right? Where you let the new frequencies find their footing inside your form. And so the next time you're in that space, when everything feels quiet, maybe even uncertain, remember you're not stuck, you're synchronizing. Your soul is downloading, your system is catching up, and if you listen closely enough, you'll realize this is not the absence of guidance, this is the guidance. Sometimes the silence is the transmission. Now, I want to share just a few practical tips that you can use to explore the pause more deeply if you choose. So you might want to choose doing a body attunement. For example, if you lay your hand over your heart or your womb and ask, what do you need right now? Like, what do I need right now? Let the answer arrive as a sensation rather than thought. And this brings the body back online as an ally, remembering that it's safe to receive and that integration happens through the body, not around it. You may also choose to do gentle reflection. Instead of asking what's next, try asking what's landing or what's being made real through me now. And this shifts your awareness from striving toward future outcomes into presence with what's already anchoring. This shifts your awareness from striving towards future outcomes into presence with what's already anchoring. It helps you to recognize the new frequency you're embodying before the mind rushes ahead. Now, you might want to use a grief ritual. So if you're feeling that sadness, if you're feeling a little bit like a part of you has dissolved, has been reintegrated, has been lost, and you're feeling that, then write a short letter or light a candle for the parts of you that are dissolving, the roles, patterns, or identities that once protected you. This truly honors you and all that you've been through, allowing love to meet what's leaving instead of resistance. And finally, you might want to use movement. If you feel called, move your body gently, stretch it, sway it. Allow it to move in gentle dance or go for a walk slowly outdoors. This keeps the energy flowing without forcing forward motion, supporting the nervous system in finding new rhythm and coherence. And as I take a moment just to reflect on the ocean and hear the waves as they gently pass and then slow and then move again, this may be the perfect place to end, right here, inside the pause. It makes me smile now thinking back to that middle of the night moment when I thought, maybe I've said everything I have to say, and then realizing that was the message. that sometimes the silence is the transmission and the space is the medicine. We forget that the soul breathes in cycles. Inhale, exhale, and then that still point in between. This is that still point. And when we can honor it, not rush it, not label it as lack, as something wrong, it becomes that space where the next breath of creation naturally arrives. So if you find yourself in your own pause right now, trust it. You haven't lost your spark. You're just letting the embers glow a little deeper before the next flame rises. I want to thank you so much for sitting in the stillness with me today, for remembering that rest, integration, and quiet are not the absence of movement, but are the womb of it. And if you loved this episode of Embodied Soul, please like it, share it, turn on notifications, and subscribe to my channel. It really does get these energies and messages out to those who need them. And thank you, as always, for being here, for listening, for feeling, and for allowing yourself to be in this sacred space of becoming. I look forward to seeing you on next week's episode of Embodied Soul.